What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we are finishing up this 3-part series for the modified products for the S2000, and I could not be more excited because I feel like this is a mod that I wanted to wait for the last portion of this series because I feel like I'll use this the most. And for you S2000 owners who kind of have the same like feeling or the same like situation as me, I think this mod is like something that I think is really needed for someone who daily drives the S2000 or someone who just needs something to look at while they're driving. So right here we do have the modified S2000 dash bracket. You can mount a phone, which is the holder that I got. You can mount a clock for if you're like doing time attack or whatever, stuff like that. This can be used for like many different purposes. It doesn't have to be used for the phone, but being that I'm mostly going to be like daily driving it to work, going to get coffee or whatever, I think this is much needed. So if you take a look at the car right now, there's not really any space to really put your phone. Being that there's not a lot of space, you kind of have to limit yourself to like maybe you have to put your phone here. What if you have a drink and you don't have the cup holder? You're kind of screwed, so you got to put it there. What if you have someone in the passenger seat? You're kind of screwed. What if you put it there? But if you take turns, it's gonna move. You can put it on your lap, but then like you're gonna be moving your legs, so that's not gonna work. So the S2000 phone bracket, it's actually gonna go right here. Modify actually does offer multiple phone brackets. You can mount it right here. There's one that goes over here. So based on the past 2 videos we've done, the installs actually were pretty easy for the cup holder and for the straps. So I don't anticipate the phone holder to be any more difficult than the other ones. Just like the other ones, this one did come with instructions. And if you guys didn't watch the last few videos, I'll go ahead and just link it in the bottom so you guys can go ahead and take a look at that. But I don't think this should be too difficult. I say that every time, but past experience with modified products, it's been pretty good. So the tools needed aren't too crazy. It's more than the other 2 installs, but you will need a Phillips screwdriver, a little stubby Phillips screwdriver, a non-metal pry tool. You can also use a credit card, like an old gift card if you want to use that, and an X-Acto knife. And the last thing you will need, but it's not here, is a little small paper clip. But these are pretty much all the materials you will need, as well as this bracket. So what you're gonna wanna do first is you're gonna wanna get your paper clip. We'll go inside the car and then I'll show you exactly what you guys are gonna be taking out. So underneath the dash, you will see these 2 little like covers. There's one right here, and then there's also one right here. One right there, and one right there. You can use your small little paper clip and hook it under the cover, and it should pop right out. So now that you got both of those off, those actually took longer than I thought without damaging anything. I was trying not to use a flathead screwdriver, but I ended up just using it anyway because I just wasn't able to get any luck with the paper clip. So I just ended up using a flathead screwdriver. If you want to be careful to not damage any of like this part, just make sure you wrap the flathead around with the microfiber, and then you should be able to pop this off. So the next step now is just to get a smaller Phillips screwdriver, and there's should be 2 Phillips screws, one here and one here. Once you take these off, this will allow you to pull this back a lot easier. So now that you got the 2 little pieces off from underneath the dash, this will give you more room in order to pull this piece back. So what you can do is you can use a non-metal pry tool. I have this one. I'm gonna see if it'll work. It has a little bit of like a curve, so I feel like it can like dig into there without messing anything up. So you want to pull it as far back until you can see this gold little screw. This is what you're going to be taking out, and this is what you're going to be using to screw the new plate that you got from Modify back in. What you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to do a test fit with the Modify bracket and where this is going to go. The hole is going to be at the bottom, so you're just going to insert it like so. And what you'll notice as doing a test fit, you'll see that the back of the trim is blocking it from the plate from sitting flush. So what you're gonna have to do is, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably just gonna end up screwing this in and make a mental note, or probably just make an incision with the X-Acto knife on where I can cut so that this fits flush. All right, so just to give you guys a little bit of a perspective view, with my knife, I'm gonna carefully cut right above where the bracket is and right below where the bracket is. You guys can see there's a little like lining right here that I will cut, as same thing on the top. Be careful, you don't want to cut into the actual dash. For obvious reasons, you don't want to cut anything on the dash. So now that we have that piece cut, you should be able to easily push the bezel back, and this should fit more flush. If you look behind, you see that I cut the piece. There's really is no trick to cutting it. You just gotta be patient and cut it. Nice, so that looks good. I tried to make it as flush as possible to how it was from like OEM. I don't know if screwing in the little screws for these cowls will help. I'm assuming it will, but you know, I'm just gonna try my best. So now that I have everything put back together, I was inspecting it again. I don't know why the gap is like that. I trimmed as much as I could from that plastic piece that was behind here, as much as I could. If I trimmed it anymore, I couldn't even trim it anymore because it was all behind the actual like soft part of the dash. So I don't know why it's sitting like that, but I can't even really tell, which, you know, I think is fine. But for passengers who look over and they're like, oh, there's a big gap, rip. But what we need to do next is we need to assemble this phone mount so that we can attach it to the bracket. So this has some little like, it looks like a bottle type situation. And the mount that connects to the bracket in the car actually has that little like lining there. So all you have to do is just insert the back, clip it in, and it should be good to go in the car. All that you really need to do is use these screws to screw this bracket piece into the bracket in the car. Clip this in, and you get a phone mount. Now we have the phone case holder installed. This one is specifically from Modify. I got this one because I didn't even know of any other phone mount that I could have gotten, so I just opted with the one that they got. If you want, you can literally just buy the bracket itself without the phone mount, but this is the one that I got. So all you gotta do, you know, clamp it up. I guess we'll see how much it wiggles in due time, but that's how it looks like. And then there's like a little button on the side here. If you just press it, pops out. Bada boom, bada bam. That's about it. So if I had to say, the phone mount actually is like I think it's really good. Placement's good, install is easy. Modify, thumbs up for you. So what we need to do now is we need to put the top back up because we're gonna take the Lexus to the gym. I'm telling you, those straps, most people will be like, you just paid for straps that you didn't really need to, bro. But no, I think it works really good. And just look at the mount, bro. Like this, my camera doesn't really have a big, like a wide view, but phone mount, cup holder, the straps, and that's all you pretty much need for an interior. Shift knob is on the way. As much as I love the S2000, the Lexus will always be my main squeeze. People always say, you know, like you'll eventually grow up. You'll eventually get over the cars and you're probably gonna need to sell something in order to get something else, but man, this car, the memories along with the way the car drives, the way the car feels, bro, it's hard to give it up. Even to sell it for like something else that I want. And of course there's other cars out there that I want. But man, like getting rid of this is just, it's tough. It's gonna be tough. Even if I do, or even if I don't, it's probably gonna be a little difficult to say deuce deuce.
3 hours later.
Alright y'all, so that's gonna do it for today's video. Nothing too crazy, just ended the gym and just came back home. So I'm gonna end the night by learning a new language. This year I've like trying to pick up learning new things, and learning another language outside of English is something that like I really want to learn. I'm Filipino, and being that Duolingo doesn't offer Tagalog, it's kind of annoying because I'm trying to communicate with like people that I know. So 3 languages that I started to learn was Spanish, which I low-key kind of failed in high school, Japanese, and Korean. That is going to conclude our 3-part series for the Modify products. The phone case I feel like was a very essential mod, and all of these mods actually are very essential in my opinion for the S2000. Cup holder for obvious reasons. the straps to make sure that it's running good and smooth, and the phone case holder because your boy needs to see his phone and change his music. So if you enjoyed today's video and you enjoyed the whole series, definitely give this video a big thumbs up. And if you guys aren't already, subscribe to the channel down below. We will be continuing with the S2000 in the next couple videos, but we will be starting the Infinity G portion of the channel very, very soon. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.